Hey everybody, it's Rory from ANS Gear, and we're looking at a trigger today. This is the Core Hyper Trigger for the 160-170R platform. So any of the trigger assemblies that are based on that trigger platform, this trigger will fit those markers. So we don't know what's ever going to come out from Planet Eclipse in the future, but this might be compatible with future guns too. So just check and see if this will work for you or not. But I have a 170R in front of me right now, and I'm going to show you how to put that on there. So given the color scheme of this nightmare blue 170R, I'm either going to go with the silver trigger or I'm going to go with the blue trigger. I think the blue will fit it nicely just because the blue is kind of an accent or highlight on the gun. So we're going to use the blue setup. Now these triggers are a kind of a two-finger design rather than the straight flat trigger, blade trigger, stick trigger, whatever people like to call it. Some people want a little bit more definition in where their fingers rest, so this is a perfect trigger for that kind of setup right there. Now to put this in, it is simple. We do not need to remove the frame off the gun. All we need to do is remove the two grip screws from the left-hand side of the grips. Don't need to take them completely off. We can tuck them underneath or out of the way or whatever you need to do. And then you're going to take your 5/64 Allen key and you're going to come in from the back side like this, and there is one set screw that we're going to undo. Now what I recommend is, as you're unscrewing it, keep constant forward pressure on the screw so that it does not fall out and get lost inside of your frame somewhere. Once I have the trigger all the way off, I can move it off to the side, but I've still held pressure on this. I don't want to lose that screw. Now I'm going to put my finger on the screw, I can pull the Allen key out, and I can leave it like this. Now we're going to put this one in the same spot. Before we stick this onto this, we want to take our Allen key, put it into the screw, and give that screw positive pressure forward so it doesn't, when we put this on, we don't force it back out and drop it in there. We're going to put it right where the hole goes. We're going to start threading it in, and we're going to make sure that it goes into the housing properly. There's a little, I'm going to call it a mound or a guide on here, so that as the trigger comes forward, it will actually index into the mount properly. If you see a gap between the trigger, the shoe that you've just put on, and the housing in the back, it didn't line up properly, loosen it up a little bit, and then redo it so that it comes flush with it. And that's it, right there. Put that on there, put our two screws back in. We can tighten that right down. Doop. And boop, and done. And there we have that installed. So depending on what feel you're looking for, if that blade trigger makes it feel like your top finger has to travel too far to contact the trigger and depress it, get something like this, which has a little bit more meat up towards your top trigger or your top finger, and that might help your rate of fire or just your comfort, overall comfort on trigger. So a couple different colors on the Core Hyper Trigger for the 170R, 160, 170R CS1.5, not the CS2, but the 1.5. We've got the blue, which we installed. We've got the green, the silver, the black, the orange, the gray, well, this was the blue one that I put in there. The blue was in there. The purple, the pink, the red, and the teal. Pretty much any color to fit any gun setup or any gun scheme. They're available through the website. Orders now through ansgear.com.